You know that saying, the one that often gets attributed to any transfer target Tottenham might be involved in that plays up front, and that is Tottenham will struggle to sign this player because he doesn't want to come in and play second fiddle to Harry Kane, with the suggestion being Harry Kane's first choice, regardless of whatever happens, whoever comes in, you're going to be on the bench, or you get to play when Kane's injured. It's started to creep in at West Ham. I've noticed it last transfer window and this one as well. This one coming up, certainly. West Ham will find it difficult to sign a striker because nobody wants to come in and play second fiddle to Mikel Antonio. Well, firstly, I think you've got to separate the two. Harry Kane is an established striker, England captain, probably going to finish this season as England's all-time record goal scorer. I mean, he's up there. He's sort of level pegging for second place now, as I remember it. He's got an international reputation. You sort of get it, but even then, I didn't buy into it too much. I think it's totally different with Mikel Antonio. I think it's just something the press say. I don't believe anybody thinks it, because I think if you're a footballer, you've got to believe you're the best. You're the absolute best, and we're being linked with somebody who will certainly have that belief. Now, we're not just linked. The suggestion is that we are in talks with his club to sign him. But that whole thing of, oh no, actually no, thanks for your interest, but I don't know if I want to come and join West Ham, so I don't think I'll be able to dislodge Antonio from the team. I think, oh come on, you're a man or a mouse, have a bit of self-belief. And that's why I don't particularly believe it. We were linked with En-Nesyri. En-Nesyri didn't want to come because, well, Sevilla have a bit of standing in the game in West Ham. He's happy in Spain, whatever. But make no mistake about it, I think if En-Nesyri wanted to come to West Ham, he wouldn't be there thinking, oh, actually, I don't think I can go to West Ham because Antonio's there, I might not be able to dislodge him from the team. No, that's not, the top-level sportsmen don't think like that. He'd be thinking, I'm going to get in here and Antonio will be the substitute. And, by the time I finish, we're maybe playing it right back again. That's the sort of attitude you got to have. And I think when you're looking at somebody, let's say Divock Origi for a second. If you're looking to bring someone like Origi in, I think you're in that sort of territory. Look, Origi's a good player. He's done really well as a reserve player at Liverpool. When he's come on, he's impacted games, impacted big games, won them points. But you don't get the impression that he automatically comes in and relegates Antonio to second striker. Maybe they battle it out, maybe they don't. I just think, my point is there's a bit of a grey area there. Where I think if you go out and you go and buy a striker for 40-odd million, we've done that once before, by the way, but you buy a striker for 40-odd million, then I think it very much makes, it sets the tone, it makes a statement. And this guy, apparently, I'm not sure if it's 42 million euros, 42 million pounds, not entirely sure, to be perfectly honest with you, but 42 million pounds. He's really good. Jonathan David plays for Lille. Now, I remember him before. It's very rare, actually, that a player comes up on here, and I've heard about him before, particularly a foreign player. So I've done my research and I've had a little look, but I knew about him anyway from when he was at Ghent, because he's been one of the hottest young prospects in football for a couple of years. He's Canadian. He's a striker. He is fast as pants. My pants aren't particularly fun. They're not. In fact, my pants are stationary because they're in the dirty washing basket. Actually, that's not true. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about my pants anymore. He's fast as a fast thing, basically. He's a very, very quick player. Also, he's one of those wonderful players who, look, he's left-footed, but if the ball falls to him on his right foot, he's going to hit it with his right foot. He's not totally left-footed. He does seem to be able to play off both feet. He's a constant menace. The biggest thing about him is he would improve the team. He's also one of those players where you get one chance to get him. One chance. Because you don't get him next year or the year after. He's also, if I'm perfectly honest, the type of player who possibly doesn't finish his career at West Ham unless he takes us to the dizzy heights of the Champions League and we start winning trophies straight away. But he's the type of player that you sign for 42 million and sell for 100. And I do think that's the sort of thing we should be looking at in those sort of terms. I mean, they've got a really good crop of young players, Canada as well, sort of looking through that team. I mean, if you've seen the guy play the left back at Bayern Munich, Alphonso Davies, got a feeling that's it. I mean, he's sensational. This guy's cut from the same cloth. He really is. And here's the point, would he improve our team immeasurably? This video is, of course, sponsored by the OneFootball app. You can find the link to that app below me, not below me, underneath this screen. And I'll tell you what, if you want to find out even more stories about who we're linked with, I'll be reading a lot more of these stories tomorrow, then you can find it in the One Football app. It's full of the Jonathan David story, it's full of the Jesse Lingard news, which I'll be discussing at the end of this video. Best of all, it'll put all your West Ham transfer and news gossip all into one place for you. When you download it, you just click that you follow West Ham and it puts all your news into one place. You don't have to read about Tottenham or Arsenal or anybody else. Best of all, it's free. If you don't like it, you can just delete it. You can also use that handy QR code just there. There's a thing that really annoys me when we're defending corners, and it's one of the hindrances of having a guy that is strong and good in the air. And Antonio's good in the air. He gets overshadowed by people like Souček and Dawson and Ogbonna, but he's good in the air, right? Really good in the air. So much so that he gets brought back to help defend, and I think it really kills our counter-attack from corners. The fact that we don't have anyone rapidly quick. You wouldn't bring, if you had Jonathan David in your team, you wouldn't bring him back for corners. He's not. I don't know what he is. He's not massive. I don't know, 5'9", 5'10", something like that. You wouldn't bring him back for corners. You'd leave him there. You'd leave him there on that last line on the halfway line next to whoever the couple of designated defenders on corners would be for the opposition, and he would give you such an outlet. He's really calm and composed. He's a finisher. He's a poacher, but he's mobile, which helps him in other areas. But he's also not going to get caught up overly trying to stay for too long in the wing. He'd certainly be getting in the box. He's hungry for goals. A real predator. I was really excited by this link, and I don't know the validity of the people that linked the story, but for the French journalists to say West Ham are in talks with him, I think we're very good, West Ham, at keeping things quiet. I really do. I think we're much better than we ever were now. I think David Moyes insists on it. But where David Moyes doesn't have any influence at all, whilst David Moyes can say to Sullivan, "Oi, shut it, don't, or whatever, ask Gold not to do any tweets, or Brady to mention our transfer targets in our Sun column," I think all those three would listen to him because they don't want to upset the manager. He doesn't have any sway over agents. He certainly doesn't have any sway over what the foreign clubs say. So if West Ham approach Lille for the chance to sign Jonathan David, then we can't control what Lille do. And if Lille want to leak it to their journalists, then so be it. Quite frankly, I'm really delighted to hear this news. I like the look of him. I like the look, as you know, of the other guy, Cabral. But this is a level, a really, really high level player who's clearly going places in the game, and also it'd be a statement signing for West Ham. West Ham can't go and get Mbappe. They can't go and get Haaland, but we might be able to go and get a player that could grow to be sort of comparable with them. Apparently Liverpool interested as well. Liverpool is an interesting situation for Liverpool. I think everybody's waiting to see what Haaland do and what Haaland do. I went all Zoomer talk then. Everyone's waiting to see what Haaland does, and I think Mbappe as well, and also Kane. So I don't think anybody really knows where those are going. I think Madrid would quite like Mbappe, wouldn't they? But they ain't got much money, the Spanish clubs, as you see in Barcelona at the moment. It wouldn't be surprised me if someone else like City was looking at Mbappe. If they don't get Mbappe, they get Haaland. If Haaland didn't go to Man City, you wouldn't be surprised if Haaland rocked up at Liverpool. But also Liverpool have not got limitless money. They really haven't. There's possibly other positions they might want to look at as well, Liverpool. They don't have limitless money there. So you always get the impression they got one sign, they want to get it right. So maybe they're hanging around to see what happens with that. If Harry Kane goes to Man City, Haaland doesn't go there, but whatever. There's all this stuff sort of up in the air. But this guy, Jonathan David, is really good. Really, really good. Just on a side note as well, I didn't particularly want to talk about it in a video in itself. I know Gio did a video earlier, and it was about Jesse Lingard as well. So Jesse Lingard, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm completely sick of it. I am absolutely sick of the story and the saga. I feel a little bit. I sort of wanted him to want to come to West Ham. He doesn't, does he? Really? That's that much is clear. So I think I'm a little bit annoyed about that. If the truth be known, I think he's in a funny position. The more I look at it now, because, okay, if you don't know the story, where have you been? Go and have a look at Gio's video, but it's everywhere. And The Athletic are running the report that he's going to stay and fight for his place at Manchester United. He's basically going to see out his contract. So I don't believe the fight for your place. Basically going to leave on a free. Do you know what I think he's doing? I think he's waiting to see if Newcastle get relegated or not. That's purely and simply what I'm doing. I think he wanted to go to Newcastle, or there was a deal on the table for him to go to Newcastle. He's looked at the position they're in and think, I can't do that. The one thing that disappoints me with the whole thing is what he's done now by deciding not to go. Maybe he's calling Man United's bluff. I don't know. But by deciding not to go now and wait till January. And I'm surprised with Lingard with this. He's basically forfeiting the World Cup. He would have struggled to get ahead of Maddison. Eddie would have really struggled to get ahead of Smith Rowe. These two people are ahead of him in the pecking order for the position that he likes to play in. But he might have done it. He just might have done it if he'd have come to West Ham and replicated his form last season. I think if he did that, he's got a blueprint for doing it. If he did that, he's in Southgate's World Cup squad. Simple as that. There's two ways he ain't going to do it. Number one was signing for Newcastle. Number two was for staying at Man United, where he'd be a substitute. So that's what I'm surprised about. Lingard loved playing for England. That seemed to be his motivating factor in joining West Ham last time. I find it strange, this decision to stay at Man United. He is basically sacrificing. He's sacrificing the World Cup. Which he not a big chance, but he had an outside chance of getting into that squad. I've had enough now. I really hope we move on. That being said, I'm not saying for a moment if he runs down his contract and says, actually, I'm going to sign for West Ham, that I wouldn't be interested. I'm sick of it now. I feel I don't know. It's not a particularly they've led us on in public or anything like that. Him and his team haven't really done that, but the carrot has been dangled a few times, put it that way, and now it's been well and truly taken away. So I hope we move on to other targets. And do you know what? Actually, somebody like this, I know Jonathan David, different position to Lingard, but this would be the guy. I would love to sign this guy. Cracking player. Go and check him out.